Welcome back, folks. It is my honor to introduce once again, by very popular demand, Dr. Joel Bloom, who is the president of the New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. Good to see you, Joel.
Great to see you, Steve. Thank you.
We're taping this on the 22nd of October, being seen a lot later. We're not trying to do the news. Check out NJ Spotlight News for that, day to day. I say COVID, higher ed, at this date, you say, what do you believe the future looks like? I mean, it should be Nostradamus.
Yeah, clearly how we teach and learn and do research will change. It's already changed in some ways. Some of us may have been a little ahead of the curve with how people do the work, how people come to campus, how we educate students. But for us, for the state's public polytech, today we have 3,000 students on campus. We have about 1,800 students in residence. Now that's less than a quarter, or about a quarter of our total enrollment. We have freshmen and sophomores, and we have all the others have access to the labs. It's the lab issue. So freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, and the researchers and the PhDs have access to the labs. It is very hard to do what we do as a polytech, very applied, very hands-on, and virtual labs still aren't there yet. So for us, we will do, and we've been doing more remote learning. We started doing remote learning, almost distance learning, 2 decades ago now. We'll do a little more of it. We're going to do a little more of it because of other issues at hand, like changing demography, the internationalization of higher education, research partnerships, that are international. So we've always been doing a lot of online. We also do something converged, but so it's going to change. It's going to change a little less with some of the polytechs like us because of the lab component of our curriculum.
The other part of this, Joel, and by the way, NJIT is one of our most significant higher ed partners that we've collaborated with for years. They support our programming. But we had one of your researchers on, and I know you saw this segment, because I keep thinking about innovation. I'm actually working on a book on leadership and innovation in the age of COVID and beyond. And the innovative piece, or the innovation piece of this at NJIT, there are all kinds of things going on makerspace. We'll talk about that in a second. But one of your colleagues came on to talk about this face shield that's being developed and potentially mass produced. Point being, in the age of COVID, does it present for an NJIT or other institutions like NJIT, for all the wrong reasons, a tremendous opportunity to innovate?
Oh, absolutely. The federal government's given out something called rapid grants, mostly National Science Foundation. Rapidly, they got us, give us a proposal in this area, the spreading of the COVID virus through the environment. And in no time, the grant was here. We're doing the research. So we wouldn't have been looking at, while we look at environmental issues, et cetera, we wouldn't have been looking at the spread of virus through the environment. New topic.
Stay on that, Joel. Sorry for interrupting. Are you talking about checking out the source systems and seeing, help me on that. So you check out a source system and you see where COVID is, and so you can identify what?
It's the air.
The air?
It is, and including waste, right?
That's a part of it, though.
That's only part of it. Clean water. We are now working on filtration systems that'll ensure the virus is not in the water supply. So these are topics. So we've changed that way already. A lot. It's look. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know. This virus.
Don't assume that, Joel. Go ahead.
Well, this humility is always a charm. This virus is a killer. We know that. We look at it. Look at the numbers. We just continue to accumulate so much more knowledge about it based on research. I don't want this as apolitical, but based on the science. So all of a sudden, the EPA, which was almost shut down, out of business, the Environmental Protection Agency, is coming back into business, not only at the federal level, but at the state level. we realize the issue of climate. We realize the issue of the environment. We realize, as you said, when you say environment, it's the air particulates, it's water, it's waste, it's the materials that we use in the environment.
Complex stuff. Hey, Joel, science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM education, and COVID, make the connection. How does COVID impact STEM as science, technology, engineering, and math education?
You can't talk about anything that is medical today and not know you're also talking about science, obviously medical science, right, but you're also talking about technology, right? You're also talking about engineering. There are as many engineers as there are medical researchers involved in working on, talk about how we're going to the biggest issue right now is how are you manufacturing these vaccines? We've heard an array of stories. Some require deep freeze. Well, who works on deep freeze? Engineers work on that. We talk about manufacturing, equipment, engineering. We talk about supply chain. How do you get from here to there? The product made, shipped, that's all transportation, that's all engineering. The keeping of all of these systems, the data systems, the health records, computer scientists, computer engineers. So it is a hand in glove operation. These are twins that are joined at just about every part of the anatomy.
Let me throw this one at you. By the way, Joel, Dr. Joel Bloom is a member of the board of trustees of our not-for-profit organization. Let me just share that with folks. So there's a great book on innovation. When you're writing a book about leadership and innovation, you wind up reading everyone else's stuff. And there's a wonderful book called Innovate or Die. You believe it?
Oh, absolutely. I have parallel to that one. As an organization, including yours, sir, you're either growing or dying. Homeostasis, just staying where you are, doesn't work.
Status quo, hold on. Dr. Bloom, are you saying the status quo is not a legitimate plan?
Only if you want to fail or die, yes.
I always say this, ask Blockbuster if status quo is a legitimate plan. So you have to innovate. Status quo, forget it, especially with everything going on around us, right?
We are in an information, digital, constant state of change. And if you're not innovating, you're dying. If you're not growing, you are dying.
You know, there's a great quote. This is not profound in any way. Forget who said it. Life is like, or relationships are like a shark. I'm going to screw this up. They have to keep moving forward or they die. I have no idea what the connection is, but somehow it makes sense to me.
No, because human beings, we grow and we develop. As you grow and you develop, your relationships do change.
Yep.
Right? So we're learning every day. There's a lot of downside to the integration of technology in our daily lives, but the ability for us to learn is phenomenal as a result of technology.
Hey, Dr. Joel Bloom, I learned once again. More importantly, I think I'm confident our audience did as well. Thank you, Joel. All the best, buddy.
Stay well. Take care. Thank you.
You too. We'll be right back right after this.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, PNC, Grow Up Great, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, Clean Energy Program, PSE&G, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, NJM Insurance Group, and by University Hospital. Promotional support provided by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and by Jaffe Communications.
I'm Tim Sullivan, CEO of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Since joining the NJEDA, I've been struck by the incredible assets and resources that New Jersey has to offer. The NJEDA is working every day to grow New Jersey's economy in a way that maximizes the values of those assets to benefit every single New Jersey resident. This includes more support for small businesses and a focus on reclaiming New Jersey's position as a leader in the innovation economy. Visit njeda.com to learn more about how NJEDA is building a stronger and fairer New Jersey economy.